Before we start this session, Anshul Yadav will be Aman Pandey will be presenting a joint paper with Anshul Yadav on SEZ's, a license for gigantic real estate scams. Okay. And then we'll start.
Urban agriculture, I think we read
I'm terribly sorry, it's urban agriculture in India, issues and challenges.
Treat earth well, it was not given to you by your parents, it was loaned to you by your children. Now, I am Aman Pandey from Dr. Ramanohar Raya National University, Lucknow. My co-author won't be here to present the paper due to some contingencies. He is not present here, so I deeply apologize on his part. Okay. So my topic is urban agriculture. So, what is urban agriculture? When you hear a word urban, for a layman, actually, urban. When you hear the word urban, it actually clicks something like DNA sampling and some nice altering stuff, some gizmos and gadgets. But it is basically some boring stuff. Urban agriculture basically means agriculture in the urban areas. New techniques, not the new technologies basically, but yeah, new techniques are involved in urban agriculture. Now, the seminar here is for sustainable development. Yesterday, many of the authors have already told why we need sustainable development in India, because we have like 2.4% of the world landmass and we have 15.6% of the world population. So population needs to be fed. Like their stomach should be kept. So we need sustainable development for that. And need for urban agriculture. Urban agriculture is conducive to sustainable development. I'll move over to the topic. Okay, so urban agriculture is basically the agriculture stuff in cities. In the urban, now we already have legal delineated boundaries which tell us that okay, this is a city, this is the urban area, and this does not constitute, this is the rural part of the district. But now, due to demographic conditions and migration, people keep on moving from this place to there wherever there is development. So, when we hear the word the growing population right now, it keeps on expanding. So the boundaries of city, they also have to expand. Now we do not have some official some stats that tell you some parameter that okay, this is a city. For a city, like from where I hail from, Lucknow, it's once the Aminabad part, I think that was the old Lucknow, which is now considered old Lucknow, but once that was the Lucknow, and the Gomti Nagar, which is now the most urban part of the Lucknow, which is considered the most posh area of Lucknow. Now, it was once jungle and nothing else. So now, Gomti Nagar is actually urban, which was once nothing else but jungle. So we actually need some legal intervention to tell you, okay, this is a city, this is urban area, this is not an urban area. Okay. So we come to the problems faced in urban agriculture. No. Okay, yeah. Specific areas of capacity. In this, I'd like to tell you the different types of urban agriculture. Dr. R.D. Joshi once said that love garbage. I mean, seriously, how can one love garbage? But he said love garbage, it is a great wealth generating resource. Now, for a layman, it is such a preposterous statement that how can garbage be actually wealth generating? So Dr. Aditoshi actually proved it by composting and vermiculture. Actually, in composting, it can be done without worms also. It is called aerobic composting. But with the help of these little creatures, they make the soil, they make the garbage into a nice soil conditioner, which is favorable and conducive for agriculture. Now, how important it is urban agriculture in India? Basically, composting and vermiculture in India, we can trace that by when Reliance actually stepped in and started invention in this field, composting and vermiculture. So we can say that okay, necessity is the mother of all invention because Reliance stepped in it. So, and currently there are many communities also working for the composting. Now you'll be glad that India is actually one of those countries which is actually favoring composting and vermiculture, basically composting agriculture. Now there are many, even the government has now recognized the importance of this particular sphere of urban agriculture, that is composting. Especially in Karnataka, the KCDC, Karnataka Compost Development Corporation. It is a testimony to show the importance of composting and vermiculture. Alright. Now, every pros has its cons, so does composting and vermiculture. Basically, composting is actually a very costly process. Plus, it is now not, we cannot do it in your house. There has to be some proper methods, some proper centers where you can do composting. So it actually eventually it becomes costly. Plus there is a need to quantify how much waste are actually being composted. There is not such method in India right now. Okay, the next one is horticulture. Horticulture is basically growing your food and fruits and any of this stuff which you eat or you basically food stuff. When you grow it in your house only, and that is called horticulture. Dr. Davolkar, he actually grew a mango of his palm size in a 12-inch pot. Now that was really fun. Although he is a revolutionary in this field, basically horticulture. He grew cabbage and all types of stuff in his terrace garden, not even a proper garden, in his terrace garden. Moving on to the next one is dairying. Now, in India, there came a wide revolution in dairying. India, you'll be glad to know that India actually surpassed USA in dairying. The dairying is basically the products, the milk products, the milk dairy products. India actually dethroned USA and it became #1 in dairying products. Plus, unlike North America, India didn't really modernize the dairy industry. It actually used those organizing countries, traditional milk producers like who have only 2-3 cows with them. So the Amul basically took this initiative and it turned all the traditional milk producer into a federal cooperative, which then sell it to modern chilling and distributors, which then forward and sell it to the final consumers. Then is aquaculture. Aquaculture is not really developed that much in India. It is basically centered in West Bengal only. It involves harvesting of fish and food products and in wetlands fed by urban and waste rainwater. Then is an animal husbandry. You must have heard about how we first we feed a pig and then we finally eat it as pork. So that is basically an animal husbandry. We take care of certain animals like goat and we take care of certain animals like goat and pig, and then we finally use them in eating. So that is animal husbandry. There are other areas like ornamental trees, shrubs, and sericulture is basically which needs a little light. Sericulture is the silkworm used to make silk in India, and that is what sericulture is all about. Due to the paucity of the time, I will go a little quick. Health and hygiene problem. Now there are problems faced in urban agriculture also. Plus you will be really, it is really a funny story that government, the best step that government can take to stop problems in urban agriculture is by prohibiting urban agriculture. There was a case in Mali that government actually stopped the production of straw producing cereals because they doubted that criminals hide there. Okay, so the water, and there are certain diseases. The diseases are actually tongue rollers, so you won't be able to pronounce it. But basically, mosquito-borne diseases are the mosquitoes. They linger in still water, stagnant water. That is where mosquitoes grow, and there were diseases like malaria and filaria, dengue. We all know that stuff. Plus, then comes water and foodborne diseases. Water diseases are like when like pesticides in the farm, when they are flown in the fresh water or say lake. Then fresh water is used, or when it is drunk, then it causes diseases, some metal diseases actually. Then agrochemicals are then pesticides which if come in direct contact with human being, they are actually very, very dangerous now. And contamination from heavy metals. Okay, then I'll just go to now to tackle these problems. I have divided in 6 points: education and extension. The farmers need to be educated, and land use planning, zoning, the food safety and monitoring. I'd like to just say this point only. Food safety, there should be a proper method to standardize food products, that which product is to be eaten and which to be not. And this initiative can be taken just to be on a safe side. Plus awareness and education. I always say, actually in my college they always say there's nothing that cannot be changed with awareness and education. Plus the U in youth and the I in India can do anything that is not humanly possible. Thank you.